Hello and a very warm welcome, a very good evening as well to all of you joining us right now. It's the latest edition of the Dugout, and on this Friday evening, I'm joined by my dear colleague in Siddharth Gulati today. Also joining me today is Nikhil, who joins us from a beautiful location, but from a remote location is where Nikhil is joining us today. And I can tell you, well, you see, whatever pockets that you see on Nikhil right now, there's news in every pocket that you see on him. So Nikhil is the one that's going to be doing all the talking today, but I'll come to him in just a bit. The first thing, in case you missed out, is, and again it came from Nikhil, and Sports Today was the first platform to tell you, the Champions Trophy squad is going to be announced tomorrow. 12 p.m. is when the meeting is to take place. All selection committee members will be meeting. All of them will be putting their heads together at 12 o'clock in Mumbai, followed by the announcement, which is, as the little birdie has told us, will take place around 2 o'clock. It will be followed by a presser by none other than the chief selector in Ajit Agarkar. And guess what? There are a few surprises there for you. You would have seen practice visuals of Rohit Sharma today. You would have seen him train yesterday in Mumbai. You would have seen him train alongside a Hardik Pandya, in fact, as the latest training session has happened between amongst some of the cricketers involved in the net practice session that Rohit Sharma was a part of. So there's plenty happening, and all in all, there's just two things that we're building up to now.
Yeah.
That's one, the England series, and if memory serves me right, or what we're being told right now, the squad announcement could be the same for both the England series and the Champions Trophy, right, Siddharth?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I think there are going to be a lot of eyes, or maybe there's going to be discussion on multiple fronts. You would have to see whose fitness is actually under the scanner, who all players really make the cut. Is there someone who can really miss out despite the fact that that respective player was really deserving to be a part of the squad? I think all these questions would be answered in this edition of the Dugout. As Harshit rightly pointed, that at Sports Today we were the first to basically break this thing, that the Champions Trophy squad of the Indian cricket team is going to be announced tomorrow, that is January 18th, and it's going to be followed by a press conference by the chairman of selectors.
But guess what? You don't really have to wait till that time. Yes, of course, you'll find us all here in the studio to break everything down for you once that squad announcement takes place. But we can already tell you a couple of things that we do know already. Thanks to Nikhil, we have that information. So I'm just going to cut across to Nikhil, who's been urging to now start to tell you all what that information is. It's spicy hot. So Nikhil, are we going to be giving away the spiciest information first, or let's just start with the other one where we're all expected to know about there being a little bit of a change, right? Can we now lift the lid over that little change, that one name that looked like a surety of sorts may not be the case now anymore?
No, firstly, we'll get to the 11. Firstly, congratulations to the entire Sports Today team for starting the dugout on time. I think that's a bigger achievement than all the information that you guys will be, sharing today and letting the world know. Why I'm saying congratulations, but I was shocked because, I'm joining from a construction site, as you can see behind me. I had a lot of work to be done. In one of my houses. So I was busy with that construction of that. So and I told Shivam that, it's a big day. We're going to be giving all the new information. And then at 6:15, he asked me to join the link. And I was like, are you sure 6:15? Like, is it possible? Everyone is there. All your supers are done. Everything. He said, yeah, we're ready. So that itself is a big surprise, bigger surprise than what you're going to hear in the selection committee tomorrow. But before I get down to who's going to be in, who's going to be out. Let me give you some more information. The team is to be announced tomorrow. The meeting starts at 12 p.m. and the press conference will be after the meeting is done. So that would be roughly around 2 p.m. I'm assuming. It's not 100% sure, but 12 o'clock the meeting starts. So by 2 p.m. You should have the entire team. And that's just an assumption. But 12 o'clock, the meeting is going to happen. And it's happening in the city of Mumbai. So that's the first thing that I can tell you. I can tell you something more, which is interesting, which is that there will be on the eve of the selection, as is the case, selectors, coach, captain, all of them are going to get on a phone call and kind of discuss the modalities of what is it that they would want going forward. Like, which are the players they'd want, which are the players they wouldn't want. As you know, that is a norm, right? On the eve of the selection, they try and be on the same page. People can throw in different names, and then on the day of the selection, then you have the arguments whether we keep him or not. And, you try to get some fitness reports, who's available, who's not, any disciplinary issue. All of that will be discussed tonight. That will be done con call. People will join online. And then the meeting is going to happen in the city of Mumbai on Saturday. Remember, it was being reported it will be picked on Sunday, but we confirmed here first and foremost it's on Saturday. And this is something that we had told you a few days in advance, that there will be a press conference. Remember, we spoke about no press conference, but 2 days ago I had confirmed that there will be a press conference. Ajit Agarkar will be holding a press conference, or someone will be holding a press conference. Now we can confirm, because the BCCI release has come, but I know you guys confirmed it well in advance before the BCCI release that there will be a press conference of Ajit Agarkar. So this is some new information for you. The rest of the information, I'm sure a lot of our viewers can read at the bottom, and that will give them an idea, reading our supers, as to where we are going to be heading. So, I thought maybe let's have a drill.
Yeah.
Unless you have a question, unless one of you have a question. So, I had something in mind what we could do. I can try and make my 15, and when I'm making my 15, every time I say a name that is surprising or was contentious, or there was, issue about it, you could throw a question, give your opinion, and I'll give mine. We can do that. But we can address any other question you guys have right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think let's just go ahead with it.
So
Okay.
The one thing though, Nikhil,
Yes.
before we begin the drill, I do have a question in mind though. What's happened on the Jasprit Bumrah front? Since we're confirming to everyone that Jasprit Bumrah will be included in the squad of 15 that is likely to be named tomorrow. What exactly? Yes, we all saw that tweet from him yesterday where he junked everything that was being said about him being on bed rest, blah blah la li da. Though we never said that, but what's happened over there? Has there been some sort of progress, or is the BCCI just hopeful that let's say come the third ODI, Jasprit Bumrah will get some game time, and that is good enough for him to then be participating in the Champions Trophy? Can you throw more light on that? Because last I remember is that the BCCI really wanted him to play at least one of the matches, prove some match fitness, and then go ahead and play in the Champions Trophy. Anything on that front?
No, I'll get to that. No, Harshit, I said we'll make the 15. So as and when those names come, if you have anything beyond the 15, I can
I
answer.
think, yeah,
but I'll make the 15.
Yeah, there's one thing that obviously we can discuss, and that's apart from the Champions Trophy, because I'm pretty much sure that this guy is not going to make it to the Champions Trophy squad. There's obviously the name of Sarfaraz Khan that's doing the rounds, that he was the one who leaked that important information regarding the Indian cricket team during the Border Gavaskar Trophy. So I just wanted to know more on that front, and obviously our viewers can also read it with the supers that are going in here, that who was actually the one who leaked Sarfaraz's name.
Okay, so a good question, Siddharth, and I'll confirm a lot of things to you. Firstly, it is a fact. It is a fact, and now I can confirm that in the review meeting, somebody did say that Sarfaraz was leaking the news to the media. And that's an allegation. It still remains an allegation. There is no proof whatsoever of that as of now. So that's the first thing I'd like everyone to know, that it is true that in the review meeting, his name was taken and somebody alleged that he's the person that has been leaking the news. The other big news that I will tell you, that because it was being reported that it was Gautam Gambhir who actually took his name in the review meeting and said that Sarfaraz has been leaking information, that is absolutely false. Absolutely incorrect. It was not Gautam Gambhir who has said this. So Gautam Gambhir is not the person who alleged that Sarfaraz is leaking information. It was a board official that alleged this. Unfortunate, I must say, because the board official failed to produce any proof of that happening. And now you've actually thrown a youngster under the bus. Now people are going to be raising fingers at him and saying that he has done it. This was alleged by a BCCI person and not by Gautam Gambhir. So Gautam Gambhir did not say it. Who that BCCI person is, I'm not at a liberty of saying at the moment. But all I can confirm is that this was alleged by a BCCI member. I'll just add, and that BCCI member was not even on the tour to Australia. He was not even with the team in Australia, and he's alleged that. Maybe he has his sources, maybe he found out something, so he's alleged that. But with what with that allegation, he's put one player's career into jeopardy, but it was not Gautam Gambhir who said that. I'll just add a few more things on the Sarfaraz saga, which is that I mean, here is a cricketer who's really unsure of where his future is going to be, and as soon as you say that, you don't know whether going in the next series he gets picked or not. He was really out of favor, as we reported earlier, would hardly get any time in the nets and so on and so forth. But his name coming out makes it even more interesting. Now, I will tell you one more thing, and you have to join dots. I'm not going to take the name.
Okay.
Now, this news of Sarfaraz Khan being the person who was leaking the news was first broken by a television channel. Okay? It was broken by a television channel. Now, you have to find out how many people in the BCCI are owners of television channels. And you have to find out, I will give you another hint. Sarfaraz played some domestic cricket for UP. If you guys remember, he was playing for Mumbai.
You said enough. I think you
he
said
went
enough.
to UP. And he left playing for UP because the cricket there was managed haphazardly. This is also documented, everyone knows. And he said, no, I'm not going to play cricket for UP. And he came back to play cricket for Mumbai. It was such a scenario that because of him doing that, he was not allowed to play domestic cricket for 2 years. He had to let go of 2 years of domestic cricket because he left UP midway and wanted to come back to Mumbai. So he sacrificed 2 years and then came back into the Mumbai squad. For those of you who don't remember, you can refer to it. He was playing for Mumbai because of lack of game time, went to UP, saw how badly cricket is managed there, was not getting any game time there, realized that he'll come back. So the people in the UPCA, this didn't go down very well with the people in the UPCA. So they clearly have an axe to grind against Sarfaraz. And so this news leaking on a channel owned by a person who's part of the BCCI, also part of the UPCA. Now you just, I've pretty much told you everything without saying that. But I will tell you one more thing. The person that I've just spoken about, the UPCA connection and the television channel connection, that person has just leaked the news that somebody within the BCCI said that Sarfaraz is the mole, and they leaked it with Gautam Gambhir's name. The truth is, the person who leaked it as a BCCI official is not the same person who owns the channel as well as from the UPCA. So that's another twist. There's another BCCI official who alleged that Sarfaraz was the person who was leaking the news. And there is another BCCI official that leaked this news that Sarfaraz's name was taken in the review meetings. But it was said Gautam Gambhir to protect the identity of the BCCI official. It was actually not Gautam Gambhir, but a BCCI official who took that name in the review meeting. And all of this, I'm telling you with great amount of authority. None of it is ambiguity. None of it is guesswork.
It's very good soap opera, Nikhil, I can say.
Yeah, and I think I can connect the dots.
It is. It certainly is. But imagine, again, to repeat, there are 3 characters in this. One is Sarfaraz. His name is taken not by Gautam Gambhir, but by a BCCI official in the review meeting saying he's leaking the news. And another BCCI official leaks that information to the media and tells the media that Gautam Gambhir took the name.
Is the one. Wow.
Nice. Okay. Let's just, I think, get down to business and...
See, it's for these reasons, Nikhil. Remember we were talking the other day why we should have something like the test for Indian cricket, because this will shatter the internet. You have cameras all around in the Indian dressing room, and forget the test, forget Squid Game. This will be the most watched thing globally. But again, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It is fascinating. The last few days have been a free house. Everyone will come, give information, go.
There's people taking names of the coach when he's not involved, as you tell us. That there are people being thrown on the bus who don't even play a single match in the entire tournament. Then there are people who, in the absence of the captain, are calling themselves Mr. Fix-It. Well, I can tell you this Indian cricket team is not just entertaining us on the field, but is doing a better job off the field.
Okay, let's get down to the 15 because, the light is going. I have some backup light, but I don't have too much battery as well as a lot of light. So let's go on. Maybe next
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes, I think I'll be able to continue with you guys, and that should be enough to at least get the 15.
Okay.
And if I go through the 15, there'll be certain names I'm 100% sure of, certain players I'm not 100% sure of, because I'm not a selector or somebody who sits in the meeting. So I can't have a 100% success rate. But a lot of names that I will come up with, I will be very certain about it, and that might surprise people. So I'm going to start off with, and you guys can keep writing. This is Nikhil's likely 15. If you have a notepad or something,
we're good to go. Yeah.
you can start writing, and also keep telling me, because I can't see it. So if I've missed out on any one number or any two number. Okay. So let's start with your two openers, Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma. I'm probably trying to make an 11. And then we'll get down to the backups as well.
Perfect.
Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, I think definitely.
Then
Yeah.
you will have Virat Kohli, right? Then you will have a Shreyas Iyer. Just stop me whenever you are shocked, okay?
Okay,
You'll have
okay.
a Shreyas Iyer. Then you will have a
Just
KL
hold
Rahul.
that thought, Nikhil. Just give us a moment.
Okay, sure.
So we've got Rohit up there, we've got Shubman up there, there is a Virat Kohli that you named, and you named Shreyas. So these are the top four that you've given us till now.
KL Rahul at number 5.
KL Rahul at number 5. So no surprises till now.
Yeah.
These are the names I remember. We did the drill not too long back, and these are the names that we discussed. Can I
Hardik
throw a name
Pandya.
at you right now? Or
No. I'm just going to go with 15. No, just whenever you find something surprising, you stop.
okay, go on.
Perfect.
Hardik Pandya 6,
Okay.
right? Till these 6, I'm 100% sure.
Yeah.
This is a guesswork. Ravindra Jadeja at 7.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but if you ask me, he makes it to my 15. That's 7. You could put in another player, maybe in a Kuldeep Yadav. Okay, I'm not really 100% certain about the composition of the spinners. I'm not 100% certain, but this is what I think may happen, right?
Okay.
So Kuldeep Yadav at number 8.
Nikhil, in
Now
case of both Jadeja and Kuldeep, I think to be very honest, I'm not really sure if Jadeja's performances, they really, warrant a selection in India's, white ball squad now, specifically the ODIs, now that he's retired from T20s. Obviously, he's still, his numbers are way better than a certain Washington Sundar and an Akshar Patel, but then he's not really providing the same kind of impact that he used to in the white ball format. So, I think just for me, I don't really see that.
So, Siddharth, you just said it. No, you just said it that his numbers are better than Akshar and Washington.
Yeah.
So, tell me who's better than Jadeja spin bowling all-rounder. You bring him. Who's better? So, it's clearly not Akshar. It's clearly not Washington Sundar who's better than Jadeja. You tell me the next spin bowling all-rounder you want to bring in.
I think if there is anyone who is hitting sixes better than, Ravindra Jadeja, then I think they are both obviously Akshar Patel and Washington Sundar. We have seen it, in the past also.
But they have an average ODI record.
I know that I'm mixing formats here. It's I know that, I'm doing it, but at this very moment, you need more players, who can play T20 style of batting lower down the order in ODIs.
No, then don't have KL Rahul. Because he is not fitting in your T20, then you can't have anything. No, you're picking KL Rahul because he's good in ODI. If you want to go with T20, then might as well have everyone from T20. Then get Sanju Samson. No, I put KL Rahul there. You can't do that. For some people, you are looking at other formats. For others, you're not. Again, as I said, I'm not 100%. The 6 I gave you 100%. I'm not sure about Jadeja or Kuldeep
7 and 8 you said you're not that sure about. We can
have that debate. Now you get to 9, 10, 11. You might go in with maybe 3 fast bowlers.
Yeah.
If you got Hardik as one. So they could be Mohammad Shami.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think he should make it.
Okay.
Arshdeep, 100% sure he should make it 10. And now probably you guys will ask me questions. Jasprit Bumrah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in case of Bumrah, the last I think we all saw him was bowl, during the 5th and final test of the BGT. He did not bowl in the second innings due to a back issue. Later, it was revealed that he has swelling in his back. So far, all the reports that have been doing the rounds, that he might just not be fit for CT. So what's the latest that you have for us?
So I think you will see Jasprit Bumrah's name in the squad that is picked for the England series and Champions Trophy, and his name is going to be there 100%, and it might be written ahead of that, subject to fitness.
So there'll be a
I
star.
think, yes, subject to fitness, which means they're still not 100% sure. But, my sources tell me that Indian cricket would definitely want Jasprit Bumrah to play at least one match versus England before they take him to the Champions Trophy. They're not going to risk him and take him to the Champions Trophy without playing a single match. So you might see his name in the England series, but there'll be an asterisk subject to fitness. They'll wait on till the last ODI. If he plays, great. Then he, automatically continues with Champions Trophy. If he does not play the England ODI, then there could be doubts about him going for Champions Trophy. So this is what I can tell you at the moment with regards to Jasprit Bumrah. I'm just going to move on to the 12th. We can come back and answer a lot more questions.
Yeah.
Now, number 12, you need a backup wicketkeeper, and the name, and this I think I'm almost 100% sure, is going to be Rishabh Pant. And I'm sure you'll have questions based on that.
So you are basically excluding Sanju Samson here,
Samson,
despite
yeah.
the kind of white ball form that he has shown in the last 365 days or so. ODI 100 against South Africa in Pal. Then there were 3 T20I 100s also.
In a space of 5 innings.
Yeah, in the space of 5 innings. So do you see him not making the cut?
Also, is this my question over there, just as an extension? Is this because of some sort of an ongoing probe for his no-show in the Vijay Hazare? Is now he being dealt the same way as Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan were dealt with in the past?
Yeah, can you guys see me? Can you guys see me right now?
Yeah, we can see you. Can you hear us?
Sorry. Yeah, I can hear you. Hear you.
Yeah.
So just to answer your question about Rishabh Pant, I'm only conveying, I'm just a messenger. So Sanju Samson fan, Rishabh Pant fans, don't kill me. I'm just telling you what will be the squad most likely. You are going to see Rishabh Pant's name there. I have learned that the selectors are keen on having Rishabh Pant primarily for 2 reasons. And I'm going to quote those 2 reasons to you. One, they feel that Sanju Samson's form we are mixing format. Sanju Samson has been a beast of a player in T20, which is why he finds his name there. In ODI, the form has been so-so. He got that 100 versus South Africa, but overall, it's an okay-ish form, not good enough to bring the door down. Now, again, I'm not conveying my opinion. I'm just letting you know how the selectors are going to be seeing it, and you'll know when the team is announced. And also, the other big factor of why Sanju will not be there is the fact that he did not play Vijay Hazare. And there are a few things there. Just to let you know in the backstory, he was not picked by the Kerala Cricket Association for the Vijay Hazare. So somebody can argue that, listen, I was ready to play, but I was not picked. But the counter to that is the Cricket Association said that you have to do the camp. All players that will be doing the camp will be picked. And he chose not to attend the camp. And I'll tell you why he did not attend the camp. Because last year also, he missed the camp and Kerala still picked him for the Vijay Hazare. So ended up playing. This year he thought again, he will not pay heed to what the Kerala State Cricket Association is saying. He'll skip the camp and they'll anyway pick him. This time, the Kerala Association put their foot down saying, no, if you didn't attend the camp, we will not. Now, what that has done is actually put the selectors in thick soup, because now that the diktat is out, domestic cricket is to be played by everyone. It has been made important, especially that were not part of the test team had to be playing. Now, how do you make an exception for Sanju Samson? So I think this is the other thing that is going to go against Sanju Samson because of him not playing Vijay Hazare. So if there would have been a debate between Pant and Sanju Samson, that is out. So then Pant becomes your front runner. And Sanju Samson, the powers in the BCCI have also noted that he was spending time in Dubai rather than being there in the camp. And they have, again, just as they did with a Ishan Kishan and a Shreyas Iyer, they are going to be doing that with Sanju Samson. So Sanju continues in T20. But in the ODI team, number 12 is Rishabh Pant.
So while Nikhil, we know that Rishabh Pant is all set to play for Delhi come the 23rd of January, will it be fair to say that the same could have applied to a Pant as well had he made himself unavailable for the next round of Ranji game?
Possible, could have, but that's again a hypothetical question. Would not know. But now they've made it very clear that everyone has to play. and specifically format specific. Like say in Pant's case, Ranji tests are still far away. But right now, here, just before the ODI, and you were not even part of the test series, everyone is expected to play Vijay Hazare. And I think that is going to go against Sanju Samsung, and the powers in the BCCI are already thinking on those lines, which is why I'm informing you. Highly unlikely that Sanju Samsung gets picked. Remember, I had picked Sanju in my 15 when I had made.
I remember.
Yeah.
But that was based on my choice. Now I'm only conveying where the powers that be are thinking. So that's the other thing. Before I get to 13, 14, 15, and I do not have 100% information on who could be 13, 14, 15. Your guess is going to be as good as mine, and maybe we can decide who. There could be a fast bowler. I think in 13 will be the Harshit Rana. Seems like a contender to be there.
No Mohammad Siraj.
Yeah.
It could be Siraj / Rana. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
So you could go with one. You may have another spinner there. So
Washi?
there is a possibility.
Washi or
Washington
Akshar?
Yeah, Washington Sundar can come in there.
Nikhil, is
So-
Varun Chakravarti in discussion?
I'm not 100% sure, so I can't confirm or
How
deny that.
how
So,
about, because
Siddharth,
we
I'm
don't
not-
I don't see a backup opener here. What about Yashasvi?
Yes, I think Yashasvi should be that 15th member. I think he could be that 15th member. There's also the point of Nitish Reddy. Maybe you may not take another fast bowler and you can just be happy with 3, have traveling reserves, and Nitish Reddy fits in. That's also a possibility. But that I'm not 100% sure of. The other bits I told you about Rishabh Pant, I've told you about Jasprit Bumrah, and I'm going to give you one more piece of information, because a lot of chatter right now is about Karun Nair,
Yeah.
right? And he's been scoring a lot of runs in Vijay Hazare, and many expect his name to be there. But I think anyone who's expecting Karun Nair's name to be there is going to be mighty disappointed, because I don't see, and my sources tell me that he's unlikely to make the cut, primarily because, just as we've seen in Test cricket, the selectors did not want to go back to a Pujara or a Rahane. Remember, they wanted to look ahead. I think the same philosophy will be there for Karun Nair, that, they are going to look ahead. And there are 2 reasons here. One, because they may not, want to repose faith in a 33, 34-year-old at this moment. They would rather go with a youngster. And 2, and the most important point, and which is a very valid point, who do you remove? Because all the batters that we spoke about have been doing very well in ODI cricket. We are mixing format. Test, they may be out of form. Some have had questionable performances in T20 cricket. But if you take a look at it in ODI, the batters that I've mentioned pretty much have, confirmed their slot. So there is actually no slot empty. If you were picking a test team and Karun Nair was in this form in Ranji Trophy, and you needed some replacements, as you might need going into England, then you may consider him. Who knows? They may still consider him for England based on this form. Maybe he goes on to play Ranji Trophy and gets round. But here in Champions Trophy, England Tour, I'd be very, very surprised. Highly unlikely that Karun Nair, at least that's what I'm picking up, that Karun Nair will make the squad. It might break a heart of a lot of people, but that's the truth.
I think, yeah, it's going to be very much harsh also. You don't really average more than 700 plus in a tournament. That does not really happen every day. So I think him missing
Siddharth,
out
you
on
tell me who you're going to drop. Siddharth, who you going to drop?
Yeah,
You're a selector. Who you going to drop?
Absolutely. I cannot drop anyone from the 15 that, we have just, shown to our viewers. But then I think it's in a way harsh also, because there's nothing more than you can do apart from, doing extremely well in domestic cricket to make your case to force a way back into the Indian team.
The one thing that could
No,
have
I
happened
agree.
again,
I agree.
hypothetical-
But you've seen it, Siddharth, in Ranji Trophy. There are a lot of players. I think, say, Sarfaraz, for example. He
Yeah.
was scoring a lot of runs. But he only got a chance when there was a slot that opened
Yeah.
up now in that England
Yeah,
series.
yeah.
Before that, who would you drop? So I think sometimes it's the timing. Indian cricket is packed with stories like this of domestic stalwarts doing very well. But there used to be somebody or the other who was doing very well in the slot. You could not fit it. The timing is also of importance. You must also not forget that it's been about good 6, 7, 8 years that Karun Nair has been, under the radar, not really performing up to the mark that you expect. And suddenly he does. Doesn't mean that, one season of Vijay Hazare will bring them back. You also can't be that myopic. You can't just pick based on just one tournament as such. So all of those factors you have to
Also,
consider.
the one time we really do that is when the IPL is around. Let's be honest. You still end up picking players based on how they perform in the IPL. Vijay Hazare. Also, the other thing that I see is, if you're talking about how there could have been any sort of space scooped out for a Karun Nair over here, I think if in some other world, if Shreyas Iyer didn't have He's also had a good tournament, Shreyas Iyer. If he didn't have the kind of returns that he managed to have, maybe then you could have been compelled to go with that with his name. But with Shreyas also scoring, you look at the other names, it's jam-packed. There's hardly any space for you to have a middle order batter. There's going to be no way for him. Hard, I know it's hard, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think overall, I
Yeah.
think if there's anything that I would be more surprised about, if that really happens tomorrow, if let's say, you know, a certain Harshit Rana gets picked ahead of Mohammad Siraj, I think it's going to be a little surprising. I get that, you know, Mohammad Siraj's form across formats hasn't really been up to the mark. It's been pretty underwhelming. Even in Australia also, his wickets came at a time when pretty much the game was lost or out of hands of India. But then I think Siraj is a senior member, and assuming Bumrah does not really make it to the CT squad, then I think Siraj should start.
You know, if Harshit gets picked ahead of Siraj, then it tells me that the BCCI is probably running out of patience, or almost has run out of patience with Siraj, because you remember Perth as well, against all odds, he was given the debut, which was early. If we were, you know, we were to just talk about how Harshit's, you know, performances had been. Again, he made his name playing for Kolkata, and that's how he came in everyone's eye, came in everyone's radar, let's say. But it happened too quick for him. But he still got you that wicket of Travis Head, I remember, in the following match, you know, in that particular match also. So yes, he was occasionally expensive, but if he's getting picked ahead of Siraj, it tells me that they are willing to move ahead of Siraj also now,
Okay, okay.
because it's a big tournament you're talking about.
See, I'm not. I cannot. You know, there is a possibility Siraj also gets picked. That's what I'm trying to say. That is not something that I'm 100% sure of. Like, I do not know the 15, right? And anyway, this is a 15 that will be picked by selectors. They're going to have a discussion tonight, I mentioned, with the coach and the captain, and everyone's going to have an opinion. Only tomorrow you'll get to know the team. They'll have much more discussion. So that's why I'm saying that when I pick the 15, 6, 7, 8 names, so everyone knows, you, I, me, everyone, selectors, they just blindly write those names. That's not an issue. There were a few contentious slots, which is why I you know, thought I'll share this information, because I picked up a lot of important information, and I just, you know, try to tell you that again, go back, revisit that information. One, as I said, because many have thought Jasprit Bumrah is nowhere close to fitness, he's not going to be picked. I think there is a likelihood he gets picked, and you'll see subject to fitness, and they're very keen that he plays at least one match against England before Champions Trophy. That's one. Two, Karun Nair, because there was a lot of chatter, people had written he's coming back, this and that. I'm telling you, highly, highly unlikely that Karun Nair comes back. And three, there was a talk between, you know, Pant and Sanju, who goes, and I think I've put that debate to rest by telling you that, you know, highly unlikely Sanju comes. I've given you the reasons, mostly Pant. So these are the big points that we kind of almost can confirm on Sports Today. What happens to the rest of the squad, Jadeja or Kuldeep or Washington, Akshar or Harshit or Siraj, I'm not 100% sure. But we can hazard a guess and pick the team on merit.
Okay, okay. I think there's any other maybe name that you would want to pick that you feel is a little maybe, you know, they should be up for discussion. Maybe I think Sundar and Akshar once again.
I remember the time, you know, we did this drill last week as well. We were all going through our 15s. There were a couple of names that found no mention, or had you know, one mention, let's say, or two mentions only. One was Nitish, and I remember Nikhil had Nitish. Ashwath had gone with Pant. I don't think all of us had gone in with Pant. There was also one more name that
Tilak Verma.
Tilak Verma had a mention in your side.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't see a new name. Dubey is another name that you had gone in with. But was Dubey anywhere, Nikhil, in discussion?
I think we have.
Okay, I think we've run out of time with Nikhil.
Okay.
But as per the latest that we're gathering here at Sports Today right now, no mention of Dubai of Dubey as well. So we'll once again, if you're joining us right now, we'll quickly show you what we feel is the team that you're going to be announced by the BCCI at around 2 p.m. tomorrow. 12 o'clock is when that team meeting, or that selectors meeting takes place, and in about 2 hours time from then, the announcement is likely to happen.
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill. Rohit Sharma will be the captain of the side as well. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Hardik Pandya. Again, these are all gentlemen you saw play the World Cup as well. So pretty much the same core. At number 6, you will have Hardik. 7, maybe an asterisk over there in Jadeja. That's the one name we're not quite sure about right now, but the others are a dead cert. Kuldeep Yadav, Mohammad Shami, Arshdeep Singh, Jasprit Bumrah. So Shami and Bumrah, the two names. In fact, from the time that we done the drill last time, we weren't sure about the availability of these two. But now we're getting to know, since Shami has been named in the T20 side for the England series as well, high chances, extremely high chances that he will be roped in for the Champions Trophy squad as well.
Yeah.
Arshdeep Singh, who's been busy playing county cricket, he too gets a mention in this team. Jasprit Bumrah, we're being told, could also be named. High chances, in fact, that he will be named, but subject to fitness. Remember, 12th is also the day that that you can make changes to the provisional squad.
That's
as
going to
well.
be the last day.
Last day as well. So interesting, because it's the same day that you will be playing the last ODI as well, and that's when the BCCI will be having their eyes on Jasprit Bumrah.
Correct.
And after that, we know it's not happened in the near past, I would say. But if Jasprit Bumrah is not fit after that mark, then you'll have to go through the technical committee of the ICC and then get changes made to the squad.
Yeah. Then there is Rishabh Pant, as Nikhil has said that he is set to be picked ahead of Sanju Samson, Harshit Rana or Mohammad Siraj. Washington Sundar or Akshar Patel and Yashasvi Jaiswal look set to make the cut for the 15-member Champions Trophy squad. That's going to be announced tomorrow at around 2 p.m. IST.
Alright, now comes the best part, I think, which is knowing what you guys have on your mind. So let's just quickly take some of the questions that you guys have sent.
Yeah, let's just take a few comments. Okay. 450k Thakur has a comment that Sports Today team, can you guess which Indian player will make the history of playing 100 test matches with 30 average? Is it like Shashwat who is who's put out this comment? I'm not really sure about it. But then I think in defense of that player who might just go on to 100 tests with an average of, let's say, it can turn out to be 40, 45 also. I think the management has really been unfair to him, to be very honest. They haven't really stuck with him at one particular position for a few test matches or for test matches in a row. So I think if that really happens with that particular player, let's just, once again, not take names, then who knows, things can be really different. He can turn out to be one of India's more than decent test players in the future also. So let's see. Shubham Garg has a comment that in case of Mr. Fix-It, focus on news, not on leaker. In case of Sarfaraz, focus on who leaked Sarfaraz's name and not on the allegation. Why such difference?
I want to read that again. He says, in case of Mr. Fix-It, focus on the news, not on the leaker. So he's saying not focusing on Mr. Fix-It.
Yeah.
And in case of Sarfaraz, focus on who leaked Sarfaraz's name and not on the allegation. Why such a difference? I've still not understood Shubham Garg's question.
Yeah,
I don't know if you...
Yeah, maybe I think he's just trying to say that I think there shouldn't be any kind of difference between any of the two different cases. You talk about Mr. Fix-It, there was more focus on the news as to who was the one who is the Mr. Fix-It who went within the dressing room and said that I am the guy who can try to fix things within the Indian cricket team. And now when we talk about Sarfaraz, there is obviously focus on Sarfaraz.
But for a long time you were also saying who's Mr. Fix-It.
I think all these things have started to come when India lost the BGT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Mr. Fix-It was around since Perth, right? That's when he said all of those things.
Yeah. I think from Adelaide for that matter.
No, Adelaide, Rohit was back.
Okay.
Rohit was back. Remember day 4 of the Perth test?
Yeah.
So again, this was brewing prior to Rohit being around, no?
Don't know what could be the case.
I don't have an answer to that.
Yeah. Okay, Frickin' Awesome has a comment that Sri Lanka's T20 record is poor even at their home, but in ODIs it's entirely different. Sri Lanka can play ODIs well, much better than T20Is, obviously. But I think if we look at Sri Lanka's previous performances also in the ODI format, I think they weren't really up to the mark. Let's just go back to the 2023 ODI World Cup. They couldn't really put on a show at all. In fact, they were dismantled by most of the teams there.
Exactly. Their plans fell all over the place.
Yeah.
They after a point Sri Lanka, but again at home they're a different beast altogether. The same, let's say, that can be said for Bangladesh. When they're playing at home, they are a different beast altogether.
Yeah, true. Was has a comment that Tilak has played 4 ODIs. I think in case of Tilak, one of the major reasons why I think I was the only one who had him in my 15-member possible squad for the Champions Trophy. I think he's a spin bowling all-rounder. He's more of a batting all-rounder.
Yeah, what spin bowling is? That spin bowling only happens in the nets.
I know, I get that. But I think in case of this Indian cricket team, one thing is for sure that they are very keen on having as many all-rounders as
That's
they want
true.
to, in their.
And I think it's the need as well. You don't have
Absolutely.
somebody like a Yuvraj Singh in the team anymore, or even a Sachin could give you those overs, a Virender Sehwag could give you those overs. Right now, from your top 5, you don't get any bowling at all. It's only at number 6 from Hardik that you get any bowling.
True, true. So I think it's just from that perspective that you would want to have, as many options as you can in your playing 11 or maybe the 15 also. And that's one of the major reasons why we, took him in why I took him in a 15. Aditya Thakur has a comment that DK is coming back for me at least.
No, Aditya, that's not happening.
Okay, okay. Priyanshu has an interesting comment that I hope India wins Champions Trophy with the whatever the new rules or the protocols that have been set by the BCCI. Otherwise, now other people they would be basically nothing left to blame. Coach and players will have to take accountability, and I think that should have been the case after the Border Gavaskar Trophy too. Instead of for the cricket board to focus on all these stricter rules or the protocols, they should have been more focused on how why there were those tactical blunders that were there in the Border Gavaskar Trophy.
You didn't lose the match, if you ask me. You didn't lose any of those 3 matches because of who was in the stands. Let's be honest about that. You didn't lose the matches because of how much luggage you had carried. You lost the match because of poor batting.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And there's no way around that you can get as far as that particular situation is concerned. You had to, if you ask me, you're still beating around the bush.
Yeah, even I feel that, and I think they needed to, I think, focus more on the things that basically made India lose the BGT for the first time since 2015.
kgs or 200 kgs, whatever that it was, you won the T20 World Cup. With those 200 kgs or 150 kgs, again, I will say you lost the World Cup final, but you still, proceeded with all of that, right? You are okay with all celebrity, non-celebrity spouses to be there in the stands, right?
Yep.
And things happened the way that they happened, right? It didn't work out at home, but it did work out in the Caribbean and in the United States, right? So you're looking at non-cricketing reasons over here.
Yeah.
As far as developing a sense of cohesion is concerned, that I agree. That I agree. Yes, you can't be, players cannot be throwing their tantrums, and some of these players do have their tantrums and whims and fancies as well. A sense of cohesion in any sporting unit is extremely important. So it can't be like, if let's say the Delhi team is to connect in Rajkot, everyone's just traveling on their own. There has to be, and I'm talking about the Indian team over here, then you have to be, if you're making that trip, wherever that you are from, to Rajkot, then everyone must be traveling together. If from Rajkot you're playing the second match somewhere else, then again I expect as a team for you to be traveling alone. You cannot
Correct.
be saying or players cannot be leaving depending on their stature, throwing a tantrum, and then it leads to anarchy. Simple as that. Then that tells you the better that you do as a batter or as a bowler, you can throw all these whims and fancies, and that's never a good message to send across.
Yeah, and I think as long as you're winning, everything is fine. The moment you start to lose, you start to question anything and everything. Yeah. So I think these things can happen. Gaba ka Ghamand has an interesting question.
Yeah,
why
there
not?
Is no Ghamand now, yeah.
Why no? You still drew in Gaba, although rain saved you.
Yeah.
Why not pick Ishan Kishan? He has a better average than Pant, left-handed batter, can open too. So if Jaiswal is not going to play in 11, there's no need to pick him. It frees up a slot. I think that's an interesting observation.
But Ishan Kishan, we know, is not in the scheme of things right now.
True.
He's done himself more harm than he would have thought back then. And I think there are other players, including a Sanju Samson, who's actually moved ahead of him. Sanju, you don't know how severe the punishment is for him, but from looking at somebody who was knocking on the door for the goods done in another format to have made his way into ODI cricket as well, this is another turn I think we've all hit as far as that wicketkeeper batter slot is concerned.
Correct, correct. You has a comment that if India wins CT, who will it favor, GG or Rohit? I think it's going to favor India only. It's as simple as that.
No, but I think what he's trying to ask is because there's been reports about there being a rift between the two, both wanting different philosophies, one saying a both hua, the other, well, hasn't gotten runs off late. So I think he's coming from that.
Yeah.
I think as when you win, I think it's never just entirely the captain. I think the coach's job goes unnoticed. For failures as well, I think it's a 50-50. Yes, you could argue maybe it's 55-45 because captain's the one making all the decisions on the field, so maybe 55-45 there. But there's very little to differentiate between the two, I think.
Exactly, exactly. Abhishek Sharma has a comment, and I think we've obviously discussed it, earlier in our discussion that update on Jasprit Bumrah. He looks set to be picked in India's Champions Trophy squad, but there's going to be an asterisk in front of his name that's subject to fitness, and the management would want him to play at least one of the 3 ODIs against England. That's going to begin on February 6th. Well, remember, India are going to play England 3 ODIs, February 6th, 9th, and 12th.
GGK says that Virat is faking an injury to not play Ranji, but he wants to play in Champions Trophy. That's pure comedy. Well, we can't confirm that right now, GGK. We've not read any such, we've not put out any such report saying that, it's because of the same sprain. What we can tell you is, yes, he had a bit of a sprain in that Sydney test match, but difficult to say right now.
Yeah. Um, okay.
And maybe this is going to be the last question for the day.
Okay.
Okay, we've got 2 more super chats.
So let's just take them first. Test cricketer Shashwat. Yogarajan himself can change Indian cricket for good. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Shashank Singh has a question that is Virat Kohli really in Delhi Ranji probables?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. In the 22-man probable list that's been prepared, Virat Kohli is there, but don't ask for a confirmation because we don't have one right now. It is actually expected anytime now that we could be getting some clarity from the secretary of the DDCA, but we're also waiting.
Yeah, true. Praveen has a comment that after ending star culture, will Gambhir now, okay, will he really make things mandatory so that,
Praveen, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, true. I think we should have skipped it. That's okay. I think this could well be the last comment of the evening. Kuldeep Shera, BCCI after mandating players to play domestic cricket and then giving test debut to Sky before Sarfaraz and Abhimanyu Ishwaran last time. So this time they're also doing maybe some kind of a lip service. I think one of the things that don't really make sense to me as far as this thing to be that playing domestic cricket is mandatory. What I don't understand about Rishabh Pant in this case is that even Rishabh Pant and Shubman Gill, if they literally had to be rested ahead of the England ODIs and the Champions Trophy, then why is there a need to feature in the in domestic cricket in the Ranji Trophy that's going to resume on January 23rd? What it does, to be very honest, show to me that both have been dropped from the T20I format.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I was thinking about it exactly on those lines, that if the idea was to give them rest, then why have them play domestic cricket?
Correct.
It goes against the logic. But maybe this is workload, as they say, and this is what you and I can't understand.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think last comment we'll take Sarthak Arya. Shreyas, KL and Pant should be tested during England ODIs. They more than likely will be, assuming they are part of the CT squad, and best 2 should play in the 11 for CT. I think if I have to pick, my best 2 that who should pick in CT, irrespective of, how they perform in the England ODIs, I think India should start with KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer. They've done well in the last couple of years or so. There's no reason to drop them whatsoever.
I totally agree.
Yeah. I think, should we wind up?
Yeah, Abhishek Rawat has already bid goodbye to us, so we'll just take that cue and we'll say Good night, Nandri, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair. Eat your vegetables, and
Don't trouble your mother.
you know how the drill here is at Sports Day. So yeah, good chatting up with you guys. Take very good care of yourselves. Do subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to Sports Day across all platforms. We're there on YouTube, as you would know. They're there on Facebook as well, and on Instagram, Twitter as well. So on behalf of everyone here in the Sports Day studio, including my dear producer Shivam, it's goodbye. Take care. See you soon.